He is the Robert W. Renneker Distinguished Service Emeritus Professor of Music at the University of Chicago and Professor of Music at the University of Rome La Sapienza. He is one of the world's foremost experts on Italian opera. He serves as general editor of the works of Giuseppe Verdi and of works of Gioacchino Rossini. He is author of 2 books on Donizetti and of divas and scholars performing Italian opera. Gossett is the first musicologist to be awarded the Mellon Distinguished Achievement Award. In 1988, he received the Cavaliere di Gran Croce, which is the Italian government's highest civilian honor.
Now that we are celebrating the 150th anniversary of the formation of the Italian state, it may well be time to look critically again at some of the mythology that accompanied the formation of that state. No one figures more strongly in that mythology than the composer Giuseppe Verdi. On the 6th of June, Mazzini requested from Goffredo Mameli a text, quote, that might become the Italian Marseillaise, and in which the people, to use Verdi's phrase, might forget the composer and the poet. Mameli's text, dated 26 August 1848, was promptly forwarded to the composer, and on the 18th of October from Paris, Verdi sent Mazzini a musical setting. I send you the hymn, and even if it arrives a bit late, I hope it will be there in time. I try to be as popular and simple as it is possible for me. Use it however you want. Burn it if you think it unworthy. May this hymn, along with the music of the canon, soon be heard in the Lombard plains. It was not to be. Although Verdi may have tried to be più popolare e facile che mi sia stato possibile, his melody, not published until 1865, could not compare with the ever-popular Fratelli d'Italia, the text also by Mameli, but set to music by Michele Novara. Four bars. Okay, 4 bars plus 4 bars. That's popular. 2 bars plus 4 bars is not popular, cannot be. When in December 1860, a Neapolitan friend asked Verdi to write a hymn celebrating the decision of the Neapolitan king to deposit his crown before Garibaldi, the composer responded, "You want me to write a hymn when the red-shirted hero, that is Garibaldi, has a final step to take? No! The national hymn must be heard at the same time in the Venetian lagoon, in Naples, and on the Alps. I have refused and will continue to refuse until that moment to write one. And if God helps us break our chains, and if I live to see that day, it will be the first and last hymn of G. Verdi." Whatever his hopes for a united Italy, it was clear that Verdi was insistent that the change occur in a well-ordered fashion, preferably under a strong leader, and on the basis of radical action. That is the message of the council chamber scene in his revised Simon Boccanegra in 1881. And to Clarina Maffei, his friend in Milan, he wrote on the 9th of January 1861, "I am mortified that you preceded me in sending good wishes for the new year, good wishes that I exchange with all my heart and with the great desire that in 1861 the work of our complete redemption will be concluded." This is the context in which one must read the letter that Camillo Benso, Count of Cavour, who had been Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Savoy and who sought to bring into the new Italian government both politicians and artists, wrote to Verdi the next day, on 10 January, inviting him to be a member of the first national parliament. Your presence will contribute to the reputation of the Parliament both within Italy and outside. It will give credit to the great national party that wishes to constitute the nation on the solid basis of liberty and order. And it will help us with our imaginative colleagues from the southern part of Italy, who are more susceptible to the influence of artistic genius than are inhabitants of the cold valley of the Po. The complex history of Verdi's candidature for the Parliament from the province of Borgo San Donino, the present-day Fidenza, and his unfortunate problems with another candidate, Giovanni Minghelli Vaini, are well known. The composer did not want to participate, as he told the conductor Angelo Mariani on the 26th of January, 1861. "Perhaps I will be a deputy. Let heaven forbid, for it would be a disaster for me. But not for long, for in a few months I will give my resignation." When he was elected, however, he accepted. And on 6 February, he wrote these words to the head of the electoral process from Borgo San Donino: "If I cannot bring to Parliament the splendor of eloquent language, I will bring independence, a scrupulous character, and the firm wish to work with all my power for the good of, the well-being, and the unification of our country, so long under attack and divided by foreign forces and civil discord." Nor was the significance of his election lost on his friends, such as Piave, who wrote to the composer on 11 February 1861, "You may not remember, but several months ago I wrote to you predicting that you would be a deputy, and now that you are elected to the first Italian Parliament, may I be allowed to rejoice with you at this honor, and even a bit with myself at not having been a vain prophet. My Verdi will be one of the fortunate ones who will vote to give the crown of Italy to the greatest of kings, to the true Emmanuel sent by God to redeem this land, blessed by the sun, by music, by love. Ah, such a thought exalts me, and I will make even stronger if that is possible. It will make even stronger if that is possible my pride and my affection for you." For the next few months, Verdi often asked Giuseppina to handle his correspondence because, according to his wife, he was, quote, "most occupied at the Parliament." He did indeed serve faithfully in the first session, from February through May 1861. But before leaving for the second session, he learned of the death of Cavour on 6 June and wrote the next day to his friend Oprandino Arrivabene in Florence, "At the moment I was to depart, I heard the terrible news which killed me. I do not have the courage to go to Turin or to attend the funeral of that man. What a disaster! What an abyss of horrors." After the funeral, which he did attend after all, he wrote on 14 June to Arrivabene, "I could not hold back my tears and wept like a baby." That Cavour's death had a profound impact on Verdi's parliamentary life is certain, but he was already planning a new opera for the Imperial Theatre at St. Petersburg, and by July he was hard at work at Sant'Agata with Piave on La Forza del Destino. Thereafter, Verdi's participation in the Italian Parliament was minimal, as he wrote to Piave on 3 February 1865. "For 2 long years I was absent from the Parliament. Afterwards I attended only rarely. Often I wanted to resign, but each time something intervened, and so against my will, against my taste, without inclination, habit, or talent, I remain a deputy." That is everything. If someone someday wants to write a biography of me as a member of Parliament, he needs to leave half a page blank and write in large letters, "The 450 are really only 449, since Verdi, as a deputy, does not exist." Still, Cavour was right. He asked Verdi to be a member of the first Italian Parliament because he understood the symbolic value of the gesture. However much the image of the man and composer may have been exaggerated in the latter part of the 19th century, and however true Verdi's statement was that his biography should show that as a deputato he did not exist, it must also show that he was quite rightly considered by his countrymen one of the leading figures in the Italian Risorgimento.